Excellent. We are now recording. So, welcome everybody. This is a free, open, there's Nate, session discussing PDA mainly. If it diverges, then it diverges, but our main focus is PDA. Invited many people. If you've got your own experiences, it's a time to share. It's a safe space where we can share experiences. We've got people like Rosie here who will introduce herself in a minute. And yes, we've got Nate. Hello, we've just started recording. But I'm just introducing. So we've got Nate again from Send Help, who are my recommended go-to.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. It's lovely to have you here. So yeah, we're going to be talking about PDA. Feel free at any point, if you have a question, you can either put your hand up, look, you can raise your hand on here, there's a little option, or you've got a little thumbs up sort of thing, there's a little react button down there. So if you do want to say something or want to share, please let us know in the chat and so forth. So Rosie and Nate are here to answer questions. I will do my best as well. And say personally for me, I do know about PDA, but I don't have, within the family, I don't have anyone that's diagnosed with it. But as a teacher, I do work with, I have worked with students that do. So fully aware. And can we encompass ODD as well? Is that okay to discuss ODD? It'd be nice if we maybe introduce it and what the two are, maybe what the difference is. Is it Rosie or Nate? Are either one of you experienced enough to? Oh, of course you're experienced enough, but to differentiate between the two.
Yeah, we can talk about that definitely.
Okay, I'm going to mute in case there's background noise. It's just Nate's technology is brilliant. But I'll just mute myself just whilst you introduce, and away we go. Thank you, Rosie.
Okay. So hello everyone, I'm Rosie Thompson. I am traditionally a primary school teacher and have been for 14 years. A couple of years ago, I went part-time and I qualified as an ADHD coach. I also work with Nate with Send Help and a trusted voice on the Send Help app. And I do a lot of advocacy and training for teachers and parents. I'm also a mum to two neurodiverse children and one with a PDA profile, not diagnosed because in Oxfordshire, they didn't diagnose when he was diagnosed with autism, which actually happens a lot in different counties. So some counties you'll get a diagnosis of PDA written in, and some counties for some reason just don't diagnose it and will say PDA traits, and that's what it will say in the paperwork as well, which, it's not very helpful. I don't think. It would be great if everyone did the same thing, then we'd all know singing from the same hymn sheet. But such is life, so they don't. So you'll either see like in official paperwork a profile of PDA or PDA diagnosed. Basically it's the same thing, it's just that some counties aren't allowed to officially diagnose. So if we just started with what PDA actually is. So basically, in a nutshell, it's this panic response to feeling controlled. So demands, even nice demands, can actually feel like threats rather than somebody questioning you to do something. So the way I kind of describe it to the children I work with a lot of younger children. I kind of say that it's a bit like a smoke alarm, that your brain is a bit like a smoke alarm, and it's triggered to go off very easily, even if there's not a real fire going on. So it's like you have, at school, you do the lineups, don't you? Fire drills. It's like constantly on alert. whether there is just a perceived threat or a real threat. Your brain kind of doesn't differentiate between the two. But what it kind of means, like broken down, in reality, it's just this really strong need for autonomy, for being in control, and not in a bossy or a defiant way, but in an anxiety-led, desperate need to. And sometimes, well, most of the time in my experience, children or young people with PDA at school can either just mask through school and then it's just this big meltdown at home afterwards, or due to lack of training, which it happens for quite a lot of these things, is seen as the defiant child or the naughty child, when that is absolutely not what is happening with PDA at all. It's not a want to not complete a task. It's a can't. You just physically can't meet that demand.
Yeah.
Which is really hard. And also, so people with PDA are, the majority of people, so when I say this, it's never all, because everybody's different, but can be very, very sensitive to tone, body language, facial expressions, and even, as a parent, I've thought I've had a very neutral face, but my son will pick up a slight twitch in my eye or something that he's then like, hold on. So it's hard, and it's, as a parent, I think it just takes a lot of planning. And for those parents who are also neurodiverse, that's really tricky, because ADHD can lend itself to time blindness and things. And parenting children with PDA, I've found the more you plan for things and the more you have things in advance, so the language is really important. So instead of come on, we need to get going for school, changing it to a non-demand way of saying it's like, right, in 20 minutes, if we don't leave, then we might miss the bus, which will in turn lead us to be late for school. So it's giving them lots of time. So I will never say to my child, quick, go and brush your teeth before we go, because it just won't happen. It just will not happen. It will be, I'll tell them so I'll be going to, go and get ready. And I say, in half an hour, I'll be ready and I'll have my teeth brushed ready to go out. It kind of plants the idea in the head without saying, go and brush your teeth.
Do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. Is that the same with ODD?
Yeah.
Is it? I can never remember the definition. Is it
oppositional
defiance?
Defiance. Yeah.
It's not. It's the difference is like the anxiety thing, isn't it?
I think. You go.
Sorry, let me just jump in.
Go on, Nate. Nate.
Hello, I'm Nate. I jumped on earlier and my headphones wasn't working, so I couldn't hear anyone. I thought it was completely silent. I was thinking, that's weird. There's loads of people in here. Hello, everybody. So I'll jump in on this real quickly. What Rosie said is pretty bang on. It's a really good explanation actually for what PDA is and the struggles with it. I have a suspicion that ODD is more like PDA than we think, and I think ODD was just the first one. On paper, it's different, but I think from my experience and from what I've got ADHD and autism myself, and from what I've worked in and seen, it's very similar, and you can tackle it with the same parenting methods and the same things. So it's to pull them apart is kind of unnecessary if the method to kind of help with it is the same. Does that make sense?
Yeah. But I agree. It's I think both are very, very anxiety led. It's really it does come from a place of just deep anxiety. And I think one of the things I really wanted to get across, because as a parent who's lived it and as professionals who see it all the time, we see yet again the parenting blame. Oh, it's poor parenting. Oh, it's lack of boundaries. Look at your child. You're letting them being manipulative. They'll stop if you pressure them into it. Well, if that worked, it would have worked already. And that's not what it is. You're causing, all those demands are causing more stress. They're not causing insight to anything. You're not helping. You're not finishing everything. And actually, with PDA and ODD, traditional parenting methods don't work, and sometimes they do the opposite. They can really backfire. So all the sticker charts, if you do this, you'll get a sticker. That is a demand. That is a demand, and it just won't work. The raised voices.
Yeah, as you said, it's the nice things as well as.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. My son finds anything demanded, even like on his birthday, wanting to open present. Any demand is too much, even though he's desperate to do it. It's not that he doesn't want to do something, but it will be just a shutdown. That's it. He can't. I kind of think of it as like imagine yourself on the edge of a cliff and somebody is giving you a demand. You push a little bit closer. You're a bit closer to that cliff. And even those small nudges that other people perceive as small becomes completely unbearable. And you just, that sense of safety is gone. So, yeah.
That makes a lot of sense. That now, that understanding of like, you're on the cliff. You're like the panic of falling off.
Just to add as well, it's to explain it for both ends. It's a lack of control, as Rosie mentioned, and it's exactly that of how you kind of get around it is giving the control back. And I think it's very important if you understand why the anxiety is there, in the sense of if you've got a diagnosis of autism or ADHD, especially school, and you're told to do this and that, your life seems out of control. And these are the little things that you have got control over. Also, just to mention that I think gets missed over when we talk about PDA is people that have got autism are very rigid in their thinking of what's about to happen, and they forethink a lot. So they have in their head sometimes they'll have, so this is going to happen. I'm going to do this and I'm going to do this, and that could be like really nailed down to like I'm going to wash my hands, I'm going to put the tap on, do it 3 times. So even go to like an OCD sort of level. So what also happens with a demand is that wasn't meant to happen in a day. So the instant shock and the instant change of that demand that I didn't expect has also then added to the day that I thought I was going to have that I'm not going to have now. So it's as Rosie said, planning forward is also important for that reason as well. So that the expectation is always there, because the surprise of a demand can lead to really, really bad reactions. Yeah.
Yeah. So obviously, like National Tutors deals with home educating families, and probably a lot of our families have left the school environment because of SEN issues and potentially PDA. I mean, me as a teacher as well in the school, it's hard. It's another differential you've got to think of, and it's like I've got my thinking hat on. I'm all over the place, like going, oh, what about this? What about this? But like in school, obviously you have to set tasks to do and things like that. But that is a demand.
Yeah.
So you have to go, right, we're going to go through the answers in about 5 minutes. I mean, you have to rephrase, even teaching in a class, you're going to have to rephrase everything for that PDA, ODD person to be comfortable.
And safe.
And I think at that point as well, they're probably not feeling safe. If the PDA profile is strong at home, dealing with it at school is kind of an impossible task. You're not going to get to that level because that's so out of control. And if the home life that you can control is still out, and you're still struggling at home, to expect a school to be able to really, really make a dent in it is kind of really unfair.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean, I think it's good to mention that it's not when it's just thrown out there, it's like a label without the understanding. You think it's there for life and it's a problem that's going to be there for life. It's not. And when you take the anxiety away, the problem goes away. So PDA could be very minimal and could be very manageable. It's in a sense you'll still go through the motions, but it won't take over your life. It won't take over the day. It won't take over your emotions, take over everything. And to do that is to minimize the anxiety around it. So we're doing things like that and getting a safe place at home will give you the chance to be able to conquer it at school.
Yeah.
And even at school, with the right setup, it won't be present or an issue. I think where we're seeing it at the moment very present and very effective in school is because that's, as I said, coming out of already at home that they can't control, coming into a class that now they can't control, with people saying, doing everything, and it must be like awful because that's so that even the slight changes won't have that much effect, I think, because they're trying to stamp the control that they've got, which will probably be refusing to do what they're meant to be doing.
Yeah, and if teachers aren't trained in all these different things, then how are we ever going to expect that the language and the way the approaches change? It's not going to change unless we have lots of training in place. And that's something, you know, that I go into schools and talk about, because there are like 5. This is good tips for home, but also I also tell the teachers it's 5 kind of really big core approaches. Reduce direct demands. So as much as we can, you change that language around. I wonder if it would be helpful to wear wellies today because it's raining. I know that's quite a little, younger child.
For your primary.
But I wonder if we take all of our equipment in, it might make us feel less anxious to school. Or
but it's
sorry.
No, yeah, I was going to say, but it's exhausting.
Yeah. It's having to think on your feet all
the time.
Yeah.
Because it's not a natural way.
No.
For most of us to talk, and then but as parents as well, we've got to do that. We've got to do that. I mean, I've got a son who's ADHD and another one ADHD autism, and the way I have to phrase things and talk to them different, it's different, and sometimes it's like but you have to be like really calm.
Yeah, it's like the swan, isn't it? You're calm on the surface and your feet are lower.
For parents, we've got to juggle all of this and think about what we say before we even say it.
Yeah. And
as a teacher, I don't know how I would do it. At a secondary school, you got a class of 30, 34, whatever, and then another class, and then another class, and you got to you got to know who's got PDA, who's got autism, who's got this, who's got that, who's dyslexic, It's becoming impossible to accommodate everybody, unfortunately.
Yeah. Sorry, Nate, you go.
I was just going to say, with the parenting and the questioning of the thing, I think it's worth to note as well. The anxiety gets picked up, and I think where that naturally comes with treading on eggshells, then leaves an unsafe environment at home. So as much as you're putting in structure and stuff, if they're unsure, it's not certain what's happening, that's also going to have an effect. A good, really, really good way of changing that is to put joint decisions in. I don't know if I was going to say that, but if every decision is made with the person that has PDA, it gives them power back in their life, and it should be so. That's where you get the kind of the parent, you let them go wherever you want. No, I let them have a choice. So, we should go out. We need to go out today. Really, should we go out now or should we go out a bit later? What do you think? That's like the perfect framing. And when you start, it's little things like that, then will stop you having to question about, if I say it wrong, it's going to, because the more that you get things like that, the anxiety will die down and the reaction will be less when you do slip up, and more forgiving, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And I also think as parents, we need to give ourselves a little bit of grace. You know, we weren't born PDA experts. We're learning. We're learning. Teachers are learning. Parents are learning. Kids are learning how to navigate the world with all these different diagnoses. And something I've really struggled with in the past is that the judgment of when you are parenting, because maybe if you're looking from an outside perspective and your kid's having an absolute meltdown and you're sitting there going, would you like this or would you like this? So many people are conditioned to that old school traditional parenting of just get them up and tell them what to do, and the judgment. I mean, I've had it from family members who have said to me, your parenting is what is causing this. And even if I know through my job and through training and everything, I know it's not my fault, that threw me. I'm talking years that threw me when it was a very close family member, and I thought maybe it is me, maybe. But we've got to get away from that because it's not. You're parenting the right way for your child. So whatever that looks like doesn't matter. That's right for you. But like Nate said, that second kind of core approach is offering choices. But I think it's really important that you make sure they're genuine choices, and it's not got one choice and then you've got this one which is actually unobtainable or something because you want them to choose the first choice so much. It has to be two choices that if they choose either of them, that's okay, and that's what we'll do. Which again takes time and practice and thinking about it. There's that indirect language again, but also I think the main thing is that connection before trying to correct anything. It all comes down to relationships, and if that trust and that connection's not there, if you do, even if you do the right language, like Nate said, shall we go this afternoon or shall we go this morning? And they say this afternoon. Well, no, we have to go this morning because I've got jobs to do this afternoon. Well, they're not going to listen to you the next time because it's that follow through, isn't it? But also, and the main one, pick your battles. Pick your battles. I find that in school a lot. I say to teachers, why is this the thing that the hill you're going to die on? It doesn't matter. Like, nobody else is being disturbed. Nobody else is having their learning. Just let them. You're not going to be able to fight every battle. You have to pick battles.
And that goes as a teacher, as a parent. Everything is. I literally was talking about this yesterday to someone that came into the little school that I work in, and the student I was with was like blah, 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 like mouthing off and saying inappropriate things. But I'm like, come on, let's focus on this. I'm ignoring it.
Yeah.
Because you can't. What am I supposed to write down? Everything he says. I'll be there. I've written a book by the end of the lesson.
Yeah.
You got to pick your battles. And again, with mine, it's like, oh my God, the mental drain of having to pick all the battles. You've got to let some go, and otherwise you just. Well, I would have gone insane.
Yeah. Oh no, me too. I think it's like, it's not thinking about parenting as like, you're not being permissive of what they're doing. It's strategic. You're like, it's a strategy that is based in evidence, and it's a trauma approach as well. It's all evidence based. That you are doing the right thing by picking your battles, by giving them choices, so if anyone ever does what my family member did and made you feel this big because they're saying it's your parenting, you've got so much evidence out there to say, hang on a minute, no, it's not. Which is what I did.
Well done.
You could also think it's maturity as well. It's when you have it in discussions, it kind of matures the child. Like talking from my eldest, I use it a lot with him, and it just it's changed him. When I got the right negotiation tactics around. And again, you have to be careful because sometimes I put choices that are too much pressure, and when I have to be too much, and then it becomes even worse. But it kind of matures them in a way that you wouldn't expect because. Figure out what they're going to do today. What time should we do this? It's putting questions in kids that you wouldn't actually normally ask them, and getting them involved in day-to-day life. And it kind of opens up more of a. And as I said, the more you do that, the more they feel part of. So they can do this. And it's just. It's a really. It's a really good bonds that you do develop. I know it's a lot of negativity about parenting from other parents, but when you're actually going through it, it actually really brings you closer. It really does, because you have to really think on the same level. You have to treat them on the same level as you. You have to do everything opposite that you think your kids are doing. But what it actually does is actually treat them more on your level. And ultimately, that's what these kids deserve, isn't it?
Yeah, because they're not little sort of toys and things that we can just move around and play with. They're independent individual people that are growing up, that one day, fingers crossed based on housing, they might have their own house one day and move out. And they've got to stand on their own 2 feet and do that, and giving them that choice. So even the approach towards anyone with PDA, it should be an approach towards most children, I would assume. It's like it's a good way
Or
to
is
live.
isn't that just the sentence of the year, isn't it? That everything SEN can actually be done for a normal neurotypical kid, and they're actually thrive as well. So why is it not be done?
Yeah.
Yeah. Just we've got people here, but if you've got any questions, or even if you have PDA yourself and you want to share what it's like for you, that's absolutely fine. Just feel free to put something in the chat or raise your hand if you want to say anything. I've just written down on here just a little thought. Medication. Do we talk about medication? Is there any medication? Is there anything, apart from obviously the way we talk to people, which we've just established is maybe how we should talk to everybody. Is there anything out there that could help?
I so not directly, no. So there's nothing for PDA. There's nothing like close to anything. But what would be given that could be an assistant would be something anxiety based.
Yeah.
So like an anti-anxiety tablet or something like that might help. Also, if you're not, if so, ADHD, if you're not on ADHD medication, being on ADHD medication will massively help.
Okay.
Um, Natural remedies I could talk about as well, stuff like ashwagandha, magnesium, all of them, they will all help with just day to day with anxiety. So they're just worth putting in anyway because they're just great. I think when it comes to just autism and PDA, again, it would just be the anxiety based. And I think that's where you're going to run into. It's just going to be natural approaches mainly. I don't think there could be any, because it is anxiety. It just
Is
produces
anxiety.
anxiety. It's something that produces anxiety. Yeah.
And I think even it's maybe not more medication, it's more actions and
Yeah.
places. It's why, home education now, because at home it's far safer, the anxiety levels plummet. And then
And also outdoor learning. I find outdoor learning without that kind of feeling of
a roof.
just a roof. Yeah, my son like much happier outside than he is inside.
Yeah, I used to work for a forest school as well. That was cold, but good.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So like Nate was saying, the nervous system is basically in survival mode with PDA. You're constantly in this like flight, fight, freeze, fawn stage. And medication wise, I think it would be treated as anxiety, but that alone is not, it's not going to just, it might support, but it has to be this holistic kind of whole approach. Because and I suppose looking at consequences, I suppose I'm thinking of this more from a school approach. Looking at consequences, it would be so easy for a child with PDA to get into a terrible cycle of that demand avoidance because of the anxiety, but it not being recognised. So then they get a detention.
Yeah.
So then that causes a huge anxiety. So you might accidentally say something you don't mean, which would then, it's not that PDA children don't know the rules and don't know what will happen, the outcome if they don't follow the rules. Most of the time, they know all that. It's just it's a can't, and actually it comes with, in my experience, it comes with intense shame of not being able to do it, or doing the wrong thing, and that's just, it's just so sad. And that's why natural consequences work much better. That restorative approach is so much better. Restorative approaches should be in schools regardless. That just should be the way of the world. But hey ho, it's not at the moment, but it will be, hopefully.
Rosie, is part of your work going around schools, sort of training teachers?
I think it's more awareness. It's awareness, and there are still not just teachers, but there are still people out there who won't believe in PDA. They'll just, it's not a thing. It's just people being, naughty. It's not.
Yeah.
And it's just, the more awareness that's out there, then it becomes just easier for everyone, because you're not having to fight a battle that people don't even know what it is.
Yeah. Yeah. My
Yeah.
goodness. Yeah. No, we'll definitely put your information on our website as well. That's not a problem. And as you said, it's more people that know about this. Primary, secondary schools, but even parents as well. The strategies that you can put in place. I mean, the anxiety thing. What about meditation, yoga, go and walk the dog?
Yeah.
It might be more stress actually, but anyway. But it's getting outside, as you said. There's just basic day-to-day things that you can do to lower thing. And I know all about this because I've been listening to podcasts, not on PDA, but just for women's health, anyone's health, lowering those cortisol levels, making sure your adrenaline hormone is going down, because that has an I'm thinking biology teacher here, sorry. I'm thinking adverse effects of having a high stress in your body will cause knock-on effects as well. So you've got to think about what can you do to lower.
Yeah.
So anyway, and there's loads of things you can do, like even 10-minute meditation, or like listening to music for 10 minutes with door just in dark room or something, just to chill out something.
And I think for parents, just knowing that they're not alone, because it is quite a lonely journey for parents with children with PDA. It can be, because there is that huge thing that's always, if I had done this differently, how would the outcome be? What would, have I said something wrong? Have I done this? But so even just if you join, I know there are lots of, like on Facebook and things, just support groups for like PDA parenting, even if it's just reading a comment and thinking, oh my God, they understand, they get it, and not wanting support or not asking for it, but just almost like that validation. There are others of us out there.
Yeah.
I think but it's also because when it goes wrong, it can really, really affect a household, can't it? Because it's all about control, and you see, look, quite a lot of the times, if one child could then take control of the whole house, that affects siblings, that affects going out, and I think it's no one's fault, is it? Like, kind of, it's easy to just give the control into the house when it's like that, because it's easier at the time. But eventually, a 7-year-old having control of everything that's going on in the house and what time it all happens isn't the responsibility. Imagine that responsibility anyway at 7, and they feel that too, even though they want it. It seems they want that, but they don't. So it's great to know that there's other people out there, because it can be very isolating in that sense, because you might not be able to leave the house sometimes.
Yeah.
You might not be able to go out for a coffee or go for that walk or go for that, but it might not be possible. So yeah.
And I think sorry, I was just going to say that brings up a good point about how it affects siblings. So I mean, my child who has the PDA traits is 12 now. His older brother is 14, but for as long as I can remember, the oldest one, even though we parent as we preach, like on here, he will still say, well, how come he doesn't have to brush his teeth at the same time before, how come he doesn't have to? And that's a child who has had a lot of input into what PDA is, into what autism ADHD is, and he's had his own therapy sessions because it did put so
it's like my dog.
So there's always that, and that's another thing that parents will feel guilty about, because that's just what happens, isn't it? We feel guilty about absolutely everything. It's part of our job. But looking at the whole family is really important, and seeing see if the siblings have young carers or something at their school, just so they get that kind of time to debrief away from the family setting is important as well.
Because we always focus on like the child or the person that has the difference. I'll say it's not a disorder or whatever it is. It's not. It's just a difference. But we not really forget. We the focus is taken away from the siblings and how they're affected. And for us, it's very important for we put on the life skills thing for the whole family. It's not just that we've got to teach them how to run a house or build a business or whatever it is. We have these sessions for everybody because everybody is affected by others in the house, and it's like, it's the student. Yeah, but Nate, talk to people about Send Help, because how does your company help in these sort of situations as well? Can they?
So I've got an app, and the purpose of the app is basically to bring support in all domains, like so ADHD, autism, PDA, all of that into one place under one community, really, that's away from social media. Because as much as social media is a good tool as well, you're pretty open, even trying to put stuff like that open. Again, if you've got people in critical, your family, I think that's a very underutilized thing about having a community that kind of understands, and about just having that, it's like half the support that you've been waiting for, really. So we've got like a community in there anyway. But what we've been building lately in this year is people like Rosie, has her own company called Powered Coaching, will be inside the app and will be available for people that are in the app. And they'll be available for direct messaging. They'll be doing workshops, sometimes classes. And there's obviously Rosie does ADHD coaching. She does about PDA. She's a like really good advocate as well. And we've got like a dyslexia lady in there now that's just come
She's
on.
joining us
So
next time.
yeah. Oh yeah, as I said, I've got this. Yeah. So I've got dyslexia. So the idea is that we can have all these people, and we've got about 10 trusted voices in the moment that offer different things. I've therapy. We've got ex-teachers, a lot of them, and it's just so that you can get what you need really quickly without having to do no waiting list, no nothing really. So you've got an option of workshops. There's static stuff. There's like PowerPoints as well. There's multiple ways of learning it, and there's professionals in there. And as I said, Rosie can offer one-to-one work from in there as well. So for our company and stuff. So it's almost giving the opportunity for these people that you kind of have to go on Facebook and look and then trust, because you don't know who they are, what they are. Like, do you know what I mean? But then you can just go there and
It's like, I suppose with us, like we are a course provider, but then we've got you guys Send Help. We've got educational freedom. We can help with private exams and just so it's a one-stop shop, but it's not a shop. But, it's that sort of thing. And you've got the same facility, and we'll, as I said, we'll put Rose's information on, and then we'll put like dyslexia information on and stuff like that when we have the next family session, like in the life skills with what's the name? Your contact with dyslexia.
Abby.
Abby, that was it. Yeah.
She's got this is another one. This is the original one. She's got a company called Dynamic Dyslexia, or Dynamic Dyslexia Academy, I think it's called. Yeah. What a name for sorry. I'm gonna say that to her because did you think that name through? Because I just stumbled on it having dyslexia. Yeah.
Oh my god. Yeah, I like that. It's quite funny actually. Yeah. But yeah, we'll have a session with her as well. And this is what we want. We want to talk about these things and share experiences and give advice, and hopefully help people along the way, especially like families that are in national tutors as well.
And you're not imagining it. PDA is the hardest thing that you'll ever come across. Let's just get out there. As much as ADHD, autism, and all the other things, it doesn't even come into the realms of PDA. It is the hardest thing you're going to have to deal with, and it is.
It is hard.
It is hard, yeah. But yeah, we'll. Yeah.
But as you said, don't underestimate that you're actually, when you're struggling and you're thinking, why could no, you've got one of the hardest jobs, and even the attempt of trying to change is amazing. So don't underestimate yourself, and you're never going to get it always right. No one does.
No.
And they evolve. They also evolve. You forget that, like the needs and stuff evolves. It's not static. So as much as you might have something, okay, 1 minute it might go skyrocket in the next minute might come back down. So it's not always going to be up. It's going to be down, up, down, up.
Yeah.
But
and that's
you've all got it.
Equivalent to life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah. No, thank you, you guys. We will round up. Well, we'll see if there's any questions. If there aren't any questions, it's been absolutely amazing. I love these discussions. It's not only educates me, makes me aware, but it's introducing new people and sharing as well. I just love it. But if there aren't any questions at the moment, or if you want me to stop recording and then ask a question, let me know. But I just want to say thank you to both you, Nate and Rosie, for joining and talking about the delights of PDA. But
thank you for having me.
That's okay, and
It's been brilliant. Thank you very much.
We'll put it on YouTube again, and we'll arrange some more sessions as well. It'll be amazing. And
Definitely, yeah.
Rosie, I'll be emailing you because I'm going to put your information on our website as well.
Perfect.
Right, I'm going to stop recording because I haven't any. Hang on, if I found my mouse. Where's my mouse gone? There it is. Yeah, I will stop recording as there's no questions yet. Record. Stop.